The game-winning step-back jumper Luka Doncic hit to beat the Clippers in overtime of Game 4 is one of the seminal moments of his young career. During only his first playoff appearance, Luka keeps on proving he's capable of the truly unbelievable. He's arguably the best and most accomplished 21-year-old player in basketball history, a devastating scorer who uses trickery and brute strength to get baskets, and a passer who makes you believe he has, as Rick Carlisle says, a 6G connection.
6G. It's not 5G, it's 6G.
To even be in a position for the spectacular, any star at any age needs some assistance from his teammates. Luka's supporting cast is proving to be enough for the Mavericks to push for an upset over the Clippers. Kristaps Porzingis has missed time, but the Mavs are getting great contributions across their roster, from Trey Burke to Dorian Finney-Smith to Boban Marjanovic. Let's get into Luka and his Mavericks teammates and break down the Mavs-Clippers series on this week's episode of The Restart. Hey you, I'm Kevin O'Connor and welcome to The Restart. So despite Kristaps Porzingis getting ejected in Game 1 and missing Game 4 with a sore knee, the Mavericks are making this a competitive series against the Clippers. And of course, it's largely thanks to Luka Doncic, who's posting historic numbers thus far in his first playoff series. He had an incredible Game 1, and then in Game 4 he had 43 points, 17 rebounds, and 13 assists, a triple-double, and a 21-point overtime comeback win over the Clippers. I mean, my goodness, we are witnessing the birth of a Luka legend. Luka's not doing this all by himself, though. He's getting some help from his teammates. In the 55 minutes he's been off the floor, the Mavericks have outscored the Clippers by 5 points. That's not a lot, and it's only a tiny sample, but when you consider how so many star players don't get the help they need against great opponents, it's encouraging for Luka to get the support. He's especially getting it from the guards, with Seth Curry, Trey Burke, and Tim Hardaway. The three of them are excelling. They've only played 27 minutes together, but in that time on the floor, they've outscored the Clippers by 27 points. That's dominant stuff. And on offense, they're posting 148 points per 100 possessions. That is ludicrous. They're dominating even without Luka on the floor. So what has made them so effective? Let's get into that. Luka's not the only Mav who can score at the end of the clock. Burke is so crafty that he can get past Kawhi, then finish theatrically inside, or he can generate space on the perimeter and drain a sick pull-up jumper. Shot creation ability is vital in the postseason, so Burke adds loads of value, especially in Dallas's three-guard lineups, when his shiftiness often gives him an advantage over bigger, slower-footed, and sometimes tired defenders. Burke can punish drop pick-and-roll coverage by pulling up from three, or he can from mid-range. Here, Dallas runs a double high screen as Clipper center Montrezl Harrell drops into the paint. Burke gives Reggie Jackson a little push to create separation, and that's a bucket. Yep, the mid-range ain't dead yet. And Burke can hit spot-up threes too. He's made 37% of them in his career, a very strong number, though it's nowhere as lethal as Seth Curry, who has drained 46% of his catch-and-shoot threes since entering the league. Yet the Clippers are leaving him so wide open. Right here, Boban catches the ball in the post, and why exactly is Reggie Jackson helping off Curry? That's a no-no. The Clippers need Patrick Beverley back pronto, but Dallas still has plenty of weapons that need to be slowed down. Much like Burke, Curry can also create his own shot with pull-ups and step-backs and side dribbles, especially in the pick and roll. Plus, he can finish with finesse around the rim with layups, floaters, and runners. Many of the same things can be said for Hardaway, who started all season alongside Luka. He hit a career-high 42% of his catch-and-shoot threes, and in the playoffs, he's been on the receiving end of some of Luka's laser passes. Hardaway, Burke, and Curry can also handle pick and roll to absorb some of the scoring or playmaking load as a passer. Many teams have a second star who absorbs a bulk of the ball handling responsibilities, but Burke, Curry, and Hardaway share it by committee. Here's every player's playoff data plotted by the amount of time the player possesses the ball and their touches per game. Luka is unsurprisingly an outlier. Dallas's three guards don't really stand out much from the pack, as they've logged just over 2 minutes of possession time per game, but combined, that's 7 minutes of time and over 100 touches per game. They combined are doing a lot of good for the Dallas offense. It's actually kind of crazy how Dallas found these guys. Burke was waived earlier this season by the Sixers, and boy, could they have used a shot-creating guard like him. And then they picked him up as a replacement player for Willie Cauley-Stein, who opted out of the restart. And then you got Tim Hardaway, who was an add-in in the Porzingis trade. And Curry was with Dallas a couple years ago. He was really good, but then suffered a major stress fracture injury, which knocked him out for a full year. He signed with the Blazers, had a pretty good year there, and now he's back. And Portland sure could have used him too with his shot creation behind Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. None of these guys are great defenders, but they all play hard, they all play their role, and that's all you could really ask for. Dallas long-term could use a guy who can create off the dribble like they do and defend at a high level, but for now, this will suffice for them. Besides, the Mavericks have a group of other guys that handle the primary defensive responsibilities. Those guys are Maxi Kleber, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and Dorian Finney-Smith. Much has been made of Paul George's struggles against Dallas. He's averaging only 15.3 points per game on an appalling 41 true shooting percentage, and he's missing countless open jumpers. He's a star, but right now he's performing like a bad player who shoots too much. Not all of it is self-inflicted, though. The Mavs have done dang good defensive work on him, too. Dorian Finney-Smith has defended George more than anyone, holding him to 3 for 14 shooting because of stout defense like this. Finney-Smith mirrors George's movements on this hesitation move and stays attached as he attempts to turn the corner. Look at the strong contest on George's tough lefty layup to finish the play. Even if George gets a little bit of space, as he does on this drive, help is usually waiting as Kristaps Porzingis swats the ball away. George has been so bad, the Mavs have even had Finney-Smith help off of him to double Kawhi as he does here. Kawhi gets corralled by Maxi Kleber, and at this point, Dallas just needs to make their rotations to force a huge stop. Kleber has spent the far majority of Dallas's possessions defending Kawhi, though Finney-Smith and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist have had their share too. There's only so much you can do against a scorer of Kawhi's caliber, but he's done as well as anyone can realistically hope for. At least Kleber has played Kawhi physically and made him work to create separation using his 6'10", 240-pound frame. And the help has come, whether it's a weak side rotation or a perfectly timed double to force a bad pass. Both really nice plays there by Trey Burke. Kidd-Gilchrist has played a pivotal role too. With quickness and a 7-foot wingspan, he's built to match up against Kawhi and bother his shot. Rick Carlisle is matching their minutes. 29 of MKG's 34 minutes in the series have come while Kawhi is also on the court. MKG's not a shooting threat, so he can't play that many more minutes, but he's making the most of his time on the court, which is really the case for the whole team. Luka is playing the best defense of his life. He's been seriously good in man-to-man and off-ball, causing turnovers that turn into offensive chances. Burke, Seth Curry, and Tim Hardaway Jr. are all hustling, even if there's only so much you can do against Lou Williams. Boban is providing size, and Doc Rivers hasn't utilized lineups that can play him off the court yet. But he can't anchor the defense like Porzingis can. The Mavericks need KP to stay healthy to have any chance of an upset and a deep playoff run. It's undeniably worrisome that Porzingis missed Game 4, a must-win game, when his health has always been a concern. Earlier this season, he received a PRP injection to his sore right knee, which is the same knee that kept him out in Game 4. And that's just another injury to a long list of health problems he's had throughout his career. I have to read the list right here. Since 2015, to his right leg, Kristaps has suffered a sore knee, sore hip, sprained ankle, sore foot, inflammation to the bone and tendon of his knee. And to his left leg, torn ACL, sore Achilles, sore knee, sprained ankle, sore groin, strained quad, and bruised thigh. And then he's had other issues too along the way. Lower back tightness, a right shoulder issue, and a right elbow problem. That, my friends, is a lot of problems for a player who's just 25 years old and is 7'3", a weird large body, when big men historically have had a lot of health problems when they have a body like Kristaps. Undeniably scary. Luka needs KP to stay on the court for the Mavericks to be what they can be today and in the future. For now, the gap's been filled by some other guys. Kleber can space the floor from 3, even though he's not shooting the ball nearly as well as he did during the season. Boban has helped too, but let's be real here. He's not Porzingis. Kristaps can space the floor from the logo, which opens up driving lanes for everybody else in the team. He's a solid option on lobs and cuts. They need him to be what they can on offense, never mind on defense with the length and rim protection that he provides. But even despite all that, Luka's greatness can make Dallas special. He's making another leap during his first playoff appearance. But he's not alone here. Luka's getting by with a little help from his friends. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of The Restart, and thank you to the crew for putting it together. Please do me a favor, go smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let me know in the comment section what you want to hear from me in the coming weeks during the second round of the playoffs. This is getting good, guys. I'm loving it. Thanks again for watching. Peace out.